screwed something up there, people. It's Dan RadioStyle. What the heck? Hey, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Rocking and rolling here. We got Karen and Jeffrey once again. I want to thank each and every one of you. We have like nobody in chat. That's awesome. Literally, this is awesome. Look at that. I guess they're creeping in slowly. Gotta watch out. How you guys doing?
Yeah.
We'll just chat.
Doing great.
We'll have fun. We'll just hang out.
Yep.
That's what it's all about.
Well, that's a sign from the universe.
Yeah, right? Isn't it? Made
Yeah.
this decision much, much easier for me. People be like, but Dan, what about us?
Right.
You mean like all six of you? It's awesomeness. So
Yeah,
we'll get them. They're really, what is going on? This is weird. Hello. Good morning, guys. Huh? We will see. We keep a little music going in the background. But yeah.
All right, yeah.
So what do you guys got going on in your world and with some of the stuff you guys have been working on your channel and all that? How's things going?
Yeah, well, first of all, the fun I've got to share with you, it's like a bird sanctuary out here. We've had a lot of snow, so I have a lot of bird feeders set up, and all these birds have come back from the south, and the snow covers everything up. So we've been having fun watching all the birds. It's crazy, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, we've got. We're getting into all of the what is the spiritual meaning of one dove coming to visit you, and then 2 or 5 crows versus 6, and then we have a fox that comes in, which fox is highest on the totem pole. Whole nother series, but
yeah.
Anyway, we're having fun. We can't go outside, so we might as well look from here and start investigating what it all means.
Awesome. Well, you might as well make the best of it. It's the way I'm looking at it. Well, thank you all for joining. We're going to start getting going on this. It looks like people are starting to trickle in now a little bit more. Wanted to give call out to Brian Guse, I think it is. Good morning. John M. Sup, yo. Martina Sestre, nice to see you as well. Hi, Dan, everyone. Happy to see you again. Hey, I'm happy to be here. Tony Barbara, good day. Good day. You're probably down there. Ninjas. I love it, too, by the way. Love being called a ninja. Furthest thing from the truth, but I love it anyway. Jamila, nice to see you. Ariel, Jewish C, la. Yo soy. ¿Qué pasa? What's up? Orale. Libre 44 or 44. That's probably the way you should say that. I would guess. If you start off in Spanish, you probably shouldn't transition to English halfway through the name, I would think. D Wonder, what's going on? Karen and Jeffrey, who are you guys? Yes, indeedy, they're here. Sharon Combs, always nice to see you. MS, hello. Sarah Fuller. We're going to go ahead and kick off. I wanted to do like a quick little thing, and then I'll be totally curious what you guys think. But beliefs to me are one of those things. It's kind of why the thumbnail's the way it is. But beliefs are one of those things to me that I think can make or break us. And that's what's funny is they're very, very, very powerful and extremely a part of our lives, and most of us don't realize it a lot of the times. In fact, what I've realized is one of the mistakes I think that a lot of people make, self-included. This is how I learned this, I guess, right? But one of the things is a lot of us have thoughts, and then the outer world happens, and it starts to mimic our thoughts, right? And so because of that, or if beliefs, I should say, really, because beliefs create thoughts, but let's just keep it a little bland for the moment. But as we keep having these same thoughts over and over, we get more and more of the same thing in reality, or we see more and more of this expected thing in reality. And we think that proves the belief. And it's backwards. It's actually not the way it works, but it's the mistake many of us make. Well, it keeps happening, so therefore it must be true. No, it keeps happening because it's true in your mind and heart. You believe that it's true. So you continue to have thoughts and feelings and ideas that promote that belief. What I'm saying, I'm going to make up words along this path too, but what I'm suggesting is you change your belief and your outer world will start to shape according to that. Now, some of us have beliefs that certain groups of people are bad. Some of us have beliefs that it's wrong to do X, Y, or Z. Some of us have beliefs that this certain action must cause this reaction. Now, again, I believe very much in that law of nature that actions create reactions, but I think the action is what creates the reaction. And if it's not just as an expected reaction that always occurs, but if you actually alter your action, if you alter the belief behind the action, you'll actually find that you can create a different reaction. And so many of us are coming at it from the angle of, my thoughts, I keep doing this, people keep cutting me off, people keep doing this, so I do it back. what I'm suggesting is step back. Take a small step back from where you are. Look at what you understand about the world. Do I believe there's a lot of bad people out there? Do I think that all men are horrible? Do I think that people that drive silver cars are unnormally unruly? People that drive Outbacks in Colorado, are they strange people? Some would suggest that's true. That was a little inside joke there for everyone. When we have beliefs, and that's a great story, and I kind of want to actually get into that when we get done with this. But when we have beliefs, and I do this too. I've got 3 cars. 3 cars, it's a great place. Prius, the CR-V, and the RAV4 are 4 vehicles that I refuse to drive behind no matter where I'm at. I don't care if they're the nicest people on the planet. They most likely are, because I've never met a person that drives one of those cars that I don't like. I just don't like driving behind you. That's all. And maybe it's because I actually want to get to where I'm going before my next birthday. That's just a thought. Anyways. But again, it's a belief. And it's a belief that I continue to push out into my world and experience. So every time I get behind one of those 3 cars, it happens to be slow. Beliefs create our reality. I can't just say, see, every time I see a Prius, they're driving like 12 miles an hour. No, they're driving, this one particular Prius driver's driving 12 miles an hour. I got next to a dude one time in a Prius because, of course, I didn't want to be behind him, so I got in the lane next to him. Light turns green. I'm like, this dude beat me off the line in a Prius. I'm like, dude, I love you. You are everything I want in the world. You are the future I am looking for. Thank you, sir. So again, it's not always what we believe, but if we change our beliefs, you'll actually see your world change. Right now, one of the biggest problems we have on this planet is the division that is sown into us. Division is a belief that I am different from you. Division is a belief that you are different from someone else. We are all people. We're all God's children. We're all here trying to do the same thing for the most part. Having beliefs that others are bad, that no one deserves love, that, again, the division that is sown. The only way unity can come is through each one of us individually. It is a bunch of individuals that decide to unite that can break this, that can get past this, that can make the world change. And those of us that want to follow everyone else, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with this. And I don't mean it as bad as it sounds. But what I do mean is when you can look at someone individually and say, I like you, and even the next second after they could admit that there's something that you don't like. Maybe they're an alternate sexuality, or maybe you find out they're a weird religion compared to you, right? Some sort of belief other than yours. Maybe they like somebody that you think is atrocious. It's one of my favorites right now. One of these things that we have to consider is there's larger truths. And then there's little segments of things that people think and feel and believe. But that's not the bigger picture. And I guess to probably try to get back on track, the whole thing about beliefs and how what many of us hold in our hearts, what many of us hold as true, continues to recreate itself. And right now is a time where the world is shifting, where things are changing, where there's a lot of light being shown on many aspects of our society that many of us are waking up to. And I want people to look at kind of some of the beliefs that we've held for years and sort of look at them in light of, with this new information, this new energy, this new movement, this change of the times right now. Look at it through new eyes. Look at your beliefs differently, because right now is a change, for sure, in the world. What part of that change you experience, it's up to you, your beliefs. What do you want to do? Do you want to see a better world? Or do you want to see a bad world? Do you want to keep focusing on what's horrible about this one? Or do you want to think about what could be happening right now? Because I think right now is the change for each and every one of us to try to promote the world we want to experience personally. And you'll see as you change your beliefs, your personal world will fluctuate a lot. Maybe not the outer world to everybody. You might say, I haven't seen a homeless person in 12 days. And someone will say, oh my God, I've walked over 12 of them. Well, that's your reality of the world, not mine. So what I experience is my version of reality. And as I stop believing and thinking things I once did, those things fall out of my world. Maybe not everyone's, but all I can do is control my world. Beliefs are a powerful thing. Love it if all of you guys could consider taking a gander at that. And Karen and Jeffrey, as Karen walks away, she's back. Oh, she's got the dog. Sweet. I love it. I almost put him in the screenshot, but I didn't. It was like way down too low. It would have messed up the whole thing. But anyways, that's the belief thing. I don't know if you guys got any thoughts on that. And the Outback thing was kind of funny.
Yeah, no, it's funny. We have a lot of thoughts on that. We've been talking about a lot of that lately. And even like to build up to your beliefs, your beliefs, we're talking a lot about, your words, building up to thoughts and building up to beliefs. And like you just said, Dan, going the other way, your beliefs create your thoughts and words. And, back and forth. We have a lot of control over our beliefs, therefore, how we perceive the world, our perception. Everybody's perception is their own reality. And it's Karen and I have been talking about this a lot lately. We just did a video on this too. And we both agree with you. We're as we explore it, we start to get into the intricacies and how do you change your beliefs? Is it, you have to really be impeccable with your words. You have to watch what you say, because they become your thoughts, or your thoughts become your words. All of this stuff builds up into beliefs, and we're in charge of it all. We create it all. And one thing you just said, and I want to pass the mic to Karen, but I've been thinking of this the last few days. There are days when I go and pull all these stats on cases of COVID and deaths and all this economy, and it starts to affect me a little bit, my view, my belief. And then there are days when, Karen and I are just going for a walk out here up the side of the mountain in snow, and we're focused on our channel and positivity, and my belief shifts. I can feel it a little bit. I mean, I have a core that I believe, is really strong, but I can feel it shifting just as you're saying that. Day in and day out, I can feel it tugging a little bit one way or the other. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to look at any of this COVID shit today because I don't really want to go there. Right.
Right. Karen?
Wow. I'm going to bring up something super controversial. And
whoa, hang on, people. Grab your seats.
Yeah, your guests are probably going to have a field day with this, and it's not about the person. I want to preface it with that. Okay. Whoa. So a friend of mine posted on Facebook, "I love Trump," with a big heart. Okay. And that is her belief. And I responded back because you can imagine the responses that she got on all sides of the fence. Okay.
Probably death threats, in all honesty.
And I responded back, thank you for posting the love. It's not about the person, it's about the love. And with me, everything is about the love. I believe that our society has gotten so far away from the things that are important, which are, the love for each other, helping somebody else, adding people to your gratitude, and things like that. It doesn't matter who they are. Right?
I feel like a lot of us spend more time letting others tell us how we should feel about things than taking each on a person by person basis. I mean, there's a lot of the times in business, and you guys can talk to this too, of course, but in business, sometimes a lot of times people are like, well, what's the blanket policy going to be for this weird random occurrence? And you're like, nah, let's take it on a case by case basis. Let's deal with it onesie twosie, because it doesn't happen often, and they're weird when they do. And so far, there's not really a pattern where we can just blanket policy. So sometimes, rather than assuming everyone you meet that says a particular thing is a certain way, like in my case, maybe everyone that drives a Prius drives slow. No. And when we can step back from these silly beliefs, when we can step back from this idea that everybody's like that instead, and we can look at them more as a case by case, well, okay, this individual's saying some key things that I don't particularly like. A few alarms are going off maybe in my mind, but do tell. Where do you really lie on this? Why do you say what you say? Rather than attack, ask questions to understand where they're coming from. And what a lot of us, I think, we find out is we've got more in common with each other than we realize. And sometimes the difference in opinion is very, very small.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I think I shared this on your last show, Dan. Me personally, I've really been teaching myself and pushing this into my core that if someone says something that I don't like, I immediately step back and look and say, why is this person saying this? Let me hear their side of the story. And I listen. And what you just said is absolutely correct. There's a lot of likeness there. And okay, I can see that angle. But I think we're trained by society or trained by, whatever, your parents or whatever it is, your groups that you hang out with, that, this doesn't look good. So when anyone says this, I have to rear up and defend. And I think you're better off stepping back and trying to understand the person. Karen always says this. I mean, listening is the greatest gift you can give anybody. And it's a very powerful tool. Like, listen, but you can probably learn something if you listen.
I like to think so. That's usually my plan. Any thoughts on that, Karen?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm looking at your comments. So Tony's saying politicians are all puppets. I think that's a great thing to launch off of, in that, Tony, I don't want to call you out, but it's such a blanket statement. Each politician is a person. They're a mother or a father or a wife or a husband. And we're only seeing one dimension of them. And then we're making a judgment about them on that one dimension. And if we can just look at them like another human being on earth, okay, and just without any judgment, the judgment takes up so much of our, yeah.
Yeah, let me just dive in with something just to kind of back up what Tony's saying, because I agree with what you're saying, by the way. But the reason why people say things like that they're puppets, is because they have to be. It's like what Dan's saying, opening up with, their beliefs have to align with everybody who's going to vote for them. So they almost have to play this game. You're absolutely right. I mean, you should look at them and analyze, who are they as a human being, a father or a mother, husband, wife, whatever it is, what they're doing in society. But the game they play is they have to back their groups that support them, right?
Right, and that's only the part we see. It's like Dan's doesn't want to be behind that person who's driving the Prius because he's not going to get there before his birthday. But that person, as you said, outside of their driving, they may be the most amazing, interesting, it could be, a guru driving that, and they're not in the hurry that you're in, right?
Exactly.
So,
and that's one of the significant parts about that anyways, right? Is we all sometimes need to be reminded to slow down and go with the flow. That's usually when I can't get around them. But that being said, no, you're 100% right. And that's kind of my point. And even to Tony's point, I don't disagree at all with what he's saying. But what I guess I'm suggesting is the only way to change that world is to believe maybe at least there's one or two politicians that have snuck in there that maybe are helping humanity. Maybe you're on our side. I'm hoping. Again, it's one of those things where if I can shift my belief to actually allow for some people of that ideology or some political figures or some rich people to be doing good things for humanity, then that's kind of a different world, right? Now I'm actually promoting and helping create a world that falls in line with my hopes and my dreams and my idea of making a better reality rather than this total confusion that seems to be occurring at these moments right now. So I do feel like that's one of those places in our lives where we, I think, unwittingly, unknowingly continue the problem when we continue these beliefs. And the one I play with, I still hold, but it is one that I'm very aware of and working on, if you will, because I know. But again, it's just one that's kind of fun, and I don't mind it showing up in my life so much. It's not nearly as annoying as some other things I could talk about and experience. So it's good that way. It helps. It's just something to share, an understanding.
Yeah. It is interesting. Even though I think when we change our beliefs and change our own world, obviously that's Jeffrey Pearl's world and how it's changed, and I can control it. but I do think we have effects on others too. Because, as we start to spread the word, whether it be just through like a text I have going on with my family this morning, right? Or, something we put out there on a video, that belief, hopefully, now here it is again, like hopefully I've got a belief that's going to help people, live a better life. So again, that's the first point I'm coming from.
Well, and the key though is to believe we have a better life, and that's really how it happens. Like, you can't change other people, you can't make them do things, right? But what we do is we demonstrate, we bring up ideas, we allow kind of other people to come to their own place with it. But ultimately, I guess and my point kind of is that the beliefs that we hold individually change our individual lives, and collectively is how we make a world. So as many eaches kind of work on their little individual thing, the one thing they can control, when we work on that and focus on that, I feel like collectively we can change the world in ways that only dreamed of in the past. Let's get some people in the audience. Say hello to some of the folks that are chatting. We got lovely Intangible saying hello from upstate New York. I've got a bunch of people at work with out there, and crazy up there. Lorian, I think it is. Robert, hello. Nice to see you. 619, hello. Tony Barbera, thank you, sir, for being in there. Diana Tolbert, good morning from Mountain View, Arkansas. I know it's Arkansas, but I always think Arkansas is significantly funnier. Christina, nice to see that you made it. Still typing in caps, too. I love it, girl. Nice to see you. Thank you, Nanaz. Yeah, say that 10 times fast and see what happens to you. I love it. And all right, let's see what we got. There's always dark and light. People are not the same. I think then you can decide. I think she's responding to Tony. But I agree. I think people are dark and light. Kind of an interesting component. I mean, that sort of ties in, right? Each one of us has got our good points and our bad points. What do you guys think? I mean, even from a relationship standpoint, right? I don't know. Got to be all sorts of things to say.
Well, I wanted to go to that comment where Jeffery was talking about this family text and the beliefs. So, we're all in the same situation, right? What's going on in the world, we're all experiencing it. It's our belief that allows us to experience it with darkness or with light. And on this family group text that we have going on, which I chime in very infrequently, maybe once a week at most. And whenever I do, my last chime in was, we were having a huge snowstorm yesterday or the day before, lots of snow up here in the mountains. And, I'm looking at the fact that I'm here with the man of my dreams and our little dog, Sugar Baby. And I feel like I'm living in this magical snow globe of just wonderfulness. And I wanted to share that with the family in the hopes that my belief about what's going on, COVID's happening, right? It's happening whether we like it or not. So we have a choice on how to believe.
Wait, what? COVID?
Huh? It's probably one of the few things in the world that every single person knows about. And it's happening whether we want it to or not. So our belief about it and about life right now is a huge opportunity. So I shared this snow globe magical, vision. And my goal was in the hopes that they would see that it's Jeffrey's family, that they would see that I'm so blessed to be with, one of their family members, and that we're happy and everything's okay. But the belief that I got back was that they're struggling, and they're looking at this, like, they're struggling so much because they can't see, and they all live near each other. They can't see each other. And, our belief is really a choice on how we want to view the world.
Yeah. But on that, the darkness and light, we say this a lot. I like to call them light givers and light takers. And when you walk into a room full of people, you can kind of look around and see what's going on, and you really know who the light givers and the light takers are. It's basically what Karen's saying. You look at everything around you and you kind of focus on the positive. You tend to be a light giver. If you're focusing on the negatives, you tend to be a light taker. And, people want to be around light givers. They want to be around the light. I mean, Dan, when you walk into a party, you walk into a business mixer, and you see that group of people over there laughing and having fun, and they're being very positive, and those are light givers. And there's another group over here, they're all down, talking into their drinks about, oh yeah, this job sucks, or whatever it is, they're talking about. But where are you going to go?
Company, right?
Yeah, right. But which one do you really want to go up to? To your point, if you're a light taker, maybe you are attracted to that. Negative energy attracts negative energy. Positive energy attracts positive energy. You have to decide when you walk into this room or walk into this world every day, where do I want to live? Do I want to live in this positivity, or do I want to live over here in this negativity? But you have a choice. I can take a right or take a left.
And that's the thing. I think a lot of people feel like that we create all these people out in our worlds. And I don't know. I've not been able to subscribe to that as much as people. Like, my reaction to them and my projecting onto them, for sure, 100% responsible. And I think we all play great roles in others' lives because of that. But I've got people in my family that all they do with their friends, with each other, is they talk about this negative stuff, hatred. I hate this. I hate the way things are, right? And then I've got this other group of friends that just don't talk about politics at all. And generally we just talk about cool, happy stuff. Like, we just enjoy, hey, NASA launch and the new rover they're sending to the moon. Like we just talk about cool stuff that we think's happening in the world. It has nothing to do with any of this other crap that's negative. And I find that I enjoy that energy more. And I think that's where that choice, nice voice crack, huh? I think where that choice comes in with all of us is deciding what energy do we tune our little dial to, that we digitally tune our radio station to. What are we going to listen to? And again, we tend to gravitate towards things that match our belief structure.
Yes.
Like it, exactly. I love that. And 619 basically said that same thing. You have the choice to decide that, right? And I think that's the important thing to know, that you do have a choice to decide your beliefs. And with this new world, Jeffrey and I have been talking a lot about that. If you are down here, a lot of people stay down there because that's their comfort zone. That's the energy that they're used to. But that doesn't mean that you can't take everything that's going on in the world and look at it differently and say, hey, I'm tired of being down here. This hasn't worked for me. I want to be up here. And it's such a great opportunity to do the work to get there. Set your intention to change your beliefs, and and maybe look out there at different people that are living up here, because what do they say? You are a culmination of the 5 people you hang out with.
Yeah,
it's pretty difficult right now because you are hanging out with whoever you live with, right?
Yeah. You guys are starting to look like
I feel lucky with Jeffrey.
Thank you.
I agree. The way that we tune in, the way that we choose to focus on, the way we believe tends to create this outer experience that we share. It's big difference.
Yeah.
Now I got a couple, one, I'm going to go ahead and do a sort of an announcement here, since it's probably 39 is about as big as it's going to get. I just want to let everyone know this will be my last weekly live show. I'm going to be focusing primarily on my other channel. It's doing really well. There is a link below if you're interested, but I promise a lot of you are not going to like it. Whatever. I do very much love the Dan RadioStyle stuff. I'm going to continue to do manifestation videos and whatnot, probably just on a less basis. And again, just really have appreciated the opportunity to spend time with everyone on that. I do have some parting things that, and this is going to take us a little while. This isn't going to be quick. But there's a few things I feel like stereotypes in this genre that I wanted to address, and I could very well lose subscribers for this, and I'm okay with that. One of the things I want to remind everybody, and I want to kind of get comments from you guys on whatever these that you feel. I think I got 5 of them or so. 1, the light of the universe is inside you. You, individually. You are the light of the universe. If you're looking for anything outside of yourself at all, you're forgetting the primary rule number 1. It's inside of you. You are it. You are whatever it is that you're trying to create. You are it. And if you're having an absence of it, it's because you are an absence of it. And you need to change the way you are about this, be it how you believe, how you see it, how you react, something. Something has to change inside of you to make the outside change. You are the thing you desire. So first crazy thing. What do you guys think?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it all comes from within. One thing I was just going to say on your last comment, and this feeds right into it. What's amazing is I think most people would be nodding their head, yes, Dan, as you're saying that. They all agree, right? I don't know. I've never had anyone argue with me that, no, it's not inside me, and no, I can't change the switch from positive to negative. I don't have free choice. No one's ever argued that. The question to me is, or the question I have for you or anybody else out there, I haven't found the answer to this. If everyone knows this, you'd think we'd have an easier time with creating a real positive world, especially your own little world, if you really know what you just said to be true.
Well, everyone says they know it, but they don't demonstrate that through their actions. Many people, I find, follow. And that's really one of the biggest differences. And the problem is there's a lot of leaders currently of society, or at least the ones that are allowed pulpits and allowed places to speak. There are many leaders that really do continue to promote divisiveness, fear, control. And that is, I believe, hopefully, what is sort of changing in society right now. But the only way for that to change is for people to start to question what they've been told, start to question these long-held beliefs that some other group of people is somehow less than me, no matter who they are. There are so many weird beliefs that people hold that separate them from this world that they perceive. So when I say, and it's certainly coupled with the beliefs concept, when I say you are it already, it's also meant to say, look in the mirror, man. You're probably the same thing you hate about the world. You're pointing three fingers back at yourself. Really need to look in the mirror and take a serious glance at what you're holding as true, what you hold as beliefs, before you say something outside of you is wrong. Let's look inside ourselves first.
Exactly.
That's why I'm going to push people on.
No, I think that's so spot on. And, it goes back really to self-worth, self-love, self-esteem. If you are not complete there, that emptiness gets, that's where those things in the mirror that other people, that you don't like about other people, are being reflected back, because you've not filled yourself up with your own self-worth and your own value and your own ideas, that you're taking on the negative ideas that you don't like in the world. And we need to really, and this is every negative has a positive. The beautiful thing about COVID is that we are home. We have so much time, extra time to be at home, that we're not driving, we're not flying, we're not, at the water cooler, whatever it is, that we can be working on our own self-worth and our own beliefs, and really creating the life that we want to have, instead of, playing the blame game, and blaming everyone else for the beliefs that we do have. It's kind of an insane thing that a lot of people, like you said, that are following, and then they're blaming everybody for all of the negativity in their life. It doesn't make any sense, because we have a choice to not do that.
It's like people that complain about something and say, oh, what you're doing's bad. It's horrible. And then you're like, well, what should I do instead? I don't know. Well, then shut up. Seriously, shut up. If you don't have an idea of how it can be better and you're just going to criticize, shut up. I mean, really, your opinion is unhelpful. It may be important. Don't get me wrong. I get you're upset with it. But if you're not coming up with a new way, you're not thinking about a better tomorrow, you're not thinking about how can this be better, then you're part of the problem. You're accepting what other people say and then living in that reality and saying, this is how it is for everybody. This needs to change. And it's like, no, that's not everybody's reality. That's your reality. And that's how each one of us has our own little microcosm, and we think that's everybody's. Now, to your point earlier, and I agree, there are things we collectively share. Don't get me wrong. We're all on the same globe, same weird world structure, same political stuff. I think people feel the same about our current president in many countries, at least as a general assumption. But yeah, it is that concept that the only way we can change anything, collectively at least, is to individually start to assess what beliefs we hold and understand and take complete ownership of our personal lives.
Right.
And that's one thing that many people don't want to do. They don't want to own their reality. It's so much easier to blame outside of themselves rather than point the finger at themselves and say, I'm the reason I'm not happy. It's not anyone else. It's not someone else's fault. Love it. All right, cool.
It takes so much more energy to blame somebody else, right? And
what is the thing? It takes like 7 muscles to smile, and it takes like 70 or to frown or something crazy. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it is kind of funny. It's like it takes way more effort to frown than it does to smile. It's much easier to smile.
Love that.
Same concept. Oh yeah, so I got some more fun stuff here. Oh, okay, well, it's 46 right now. Let's see what happens. There are other teachers other than Neville Goddard. I love Neville Goddard. Neville Goddard is one of the greatest of teachers. He's really, really awesome from a long time ago, but there are definitely other people that have taught similar messages. I highly recommend spreading into many other areas because there are some wonderful teachers out there that have similar information but at a slightly different angle. And when you take in enough of that and stand in the middle of it all, it'll make a lot more sense. And that's one of the things. A lot of people are like, wow, you seem to understand Goddard so well. It's because I've read so many other authors. Goddard is speaking the same thing that a lot of people are, just from a different perspective. One of the analogies I like to use is imagine a house, a big house. Let's just call it a multi-room house, big giant white house. Okay, and you got 4 fronts, 4 sides to this house. You've got a north side, south side, east side, west side, right? On the north side of the house, you've got this beautiful walkway, this very ornate mailbox, maybe some sort of little cool arch that comes in, neat little fences that go around. It's very pretty. Some nice shrubs up next to the house, some cool windows, front door with a knocker. Okay. From the back, you've got this swing set. You've got some cool little toys. You've got a different back door. You've got a barbecue. You've got some really cool stuff. On the east side, you've got a rose bushes, this little garden, very pretty. On the west side, you've got fruit trees and all sorts of beautiful stuff there. This is the same house no matter how you look at it. The people that live inside this house experience all 4 views, all 4 angles. But anyone from the outside looking at this house oftentimes only sees it from the one perspective they're glancing at it. So they may look at it from the front and say, wow, it's just a house with the front door. It's no big deal at all. These people are pretty boring. There's only like 2 windows. You make a lot of understandings about the people of the house, but only from one angle. It's a very one-dimensional understanding. And again, if you're looking at it from any other place, wow, they got a lot of roses. Wow, they got fruit trees. Wow, look at the barbecue. Blah, 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 blah. But really, the reality is it's all 4 of those things. And I think that's where so many of us get too fixated. We just look at something from one angle and we think we understand it, and we don't at all. We need to look at it from the whole, all the angles, all the pictures. And that is why other teachers should be brought in. It's why in school you always had more than one teacher when you got into upper education. It wasn't left to one individual to teach you everything. No, you had people that specialized. So go to those specialists, learn from other wonderful people, and see what happens. I can't wait to see how many subscribers I lose from this video. Seriously, I am really looking forward to it. It's going to be a bunch. So what do you guys think? Am I crazy? Am I off base? Or
No, I'm just gonna add one simple thing. I try to do this every day. Is I try to learn something new every day. And what you just said just resonates with me. That's one thing I do love about YouTube. I'm able to click off and hear different things. I tapped into somebody that never heard of today. By the way, they were saying the exact same things that Karen and I were talking about last night. I mean, it's just connecting dots, and it was just another angle. But the point is, try to learn something new every day. I think that's a great message, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I just want to say, there are so many people out there to learn from. And I think it's really important to look at all of them. Otherwise, you're missing out. But even know that, you know, and maybe I'll lose some viewers on ours, and I'm not anti any of these. These are all just human beings giving the message that they have. And it's our job to interpret that, and really, if you're really self-involved, to take their messages and then create and formulate your own out of that, instead of just following one person and their path and thinking that that's the end all be all.
And so one of the things that's frustrating, again, you only hear it from the vocal people, but it's this, well, but Goddard says, or this person says, or well, how come this person says this? And it's like, look, there's a lot of things that I have seen, one, misquoted hugely, two, completely taken out of context, and just decide I'm going to make it mean something else because Goddard said it. There's just a lot of interesting things that I think a lot of us do. Oftentimes, when it comes to manifesting and different things along those lines, we're specifically seeking a specific message. Either A, how can I do something? B, a message from someone saying, no matter what, you can do this. Doesn't matter if you're trying to beat your head against a wall, and maybe you ought to look at it from a different angle. But no, that keep doing it. Keep beating your head against a wall. Like that's, some people just want to hear that. And then eventually they get tired and they start asking other questions and then find other people. It's part of the process, and it's a beautiful thing. It's interesting, but it is interesting how many people come at this manifesting game, I guess.
No, you're right. And Dan, before you go to the next one, could you send me a link to that house on Zillow? I think I'm interested. I like that.
Nice. It's a good buy. It's a very good buy. Barely a fixer-upper. I mean, you'd be surprised. So tying into this topic, but just a little kind of another angle from it, a lot of people have very strong beliefs. And what I've found with myself, and I'm still the Prius one's just fun, but beliefs can trap you. And so one of the things that I've found in my life, and today is going to suck on the road for me, I'm sure, because of how much I've put attention on this, but it's okay. It's worth it. I do this for you guys. It's a sacrifice I make. But if I assume that Priuses are horrible, and anytime there's a Prius, they're going to be driving slow, and that's just my belief, what starts to happen in my life is, one, every time I see a Prius, obviously it drives slow. Two, I'll actually find a lot of situations where I'll come up to a traffic signal, and there'll be three lanes in this traffic signal. Guess what's the first car in each lane? It's happened before. There's a Prius in each lane. No matter what, I have to get behind someone in a Prius. Why? Because that's my belief, and they suck. And then I keep creating a larger reality around it, only to prove more and more and more that my belief is true. Now, how many of you out there have a Prius and know how to drive it, and drive it like the dude I was talking about earlier that literally beat me off the line in his Prius? Freaking Prius, off the line. Guy beat me. And it's not like I got a race car, but drives faster than Priuses. Anyway, so that's the problem that we all have sometimes, is we have these beliefs, and we continue to push these beliefs out into the world, even in spite of some evidence that may suggest otherwise. But instead we poo-poo it and say, no, I know my belief's not 100% right, but it's usually right. And then we keep pushing down the path rather than trying to look at the one thing we want to change, which is our life, and understanding that the belief itself is actually what's creating. We have to change the belief we have about the expectations. Maybe another good word to use instead of belief. But again, it's that if I do this, this happens. We have this cause effect. We have this belief. We have this understanding that every time I do something, this will happen or this won't happen. We have to alter our approach. We have to alter our beliefs. And from this, we will alter our lives. Long-winded. These are all like individual shows almost, just in and of themselves.
Dan, I just wanted to say on the relationship front with that, we're also writing this book, and I've got a huge section about it. It's basically self-sabotage, self-fulfilling prophecy. If we have this pattern of being in a relationship, and all of a sudden, maybe one person doesn't call the other person for a day, their belief system already is, my relationships never work out, so this one's not going to work out either. And they actually drive the relationship to not work out because of their belief. And it goes back again to that self-love until, and they're actually comfortable. Like, see, Dan, I told you that relationship wasn't going to work out from the beginning.
Right.
They're comfortable in that belief and in that outcome. And so they're going to continually create it so that they can be right in their own mind, until you can go inside yourself to your own self-love, fill that up, and change your belief that, hey, of course it's going to work out. Why wouldn't somebody want to be with me? I have so much to offer the world. And that belief can be changed, but not until the person wants to change it and decides to change it.
I have a super good friend that's actually very into fixing people. He loves to talk to people that are broken and help fix them. It's just something he loves to do. And so he manifested a very awesome woman that needed a lot of fixing, and he married her. And one video I remember he posted on Instagram was her throwing a beer on him when they were having a discussion. This was just, they were hanging out. She got mad at him, threw a beer on him in public in a restaurant, and then stormed out. And I'm like, bravo, my friend, bravo. It manifested exactly what you wanted. You needed somebody to fix. She's very broken. Fix her upper.
And we know there's only one person that can fix her, and it's not him.
Yeah. And their relationship wouldn't survive it if she fixed herself. Like, the only way they can stay together, unless he stops needing that. Like, again, there's this weird codependency that's been created. And obviously, yeah, it's just, I mean, hey, it's a train wreck. It's fun to watch. Like, I love hanging out with these two because you never know what the hell's going to happen. And again, people are like, oh, it's you pushed out. No, it's not. That's me going to an entertaining, like, that's like medieval times for me. That's like a good time, man. Like, night out. Like, let's go to Disneyland and watch my buddies fight. It's a good time. So I love it. All right. So one thing that I have understood anyways about life, the quality of the thoughts we hold. So the quality of things, the way we see things, the way we believe things, again, is all tied together, but the way we hold things creates the world we experience. So if I've got this view that everything's bad, then what I experience in the world is a lot of bad things. Maybe I think all certain people of political party A are idiots, or this way, I hate people, blah, 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 right? And then everyone I see from that political party out there does that, much like probably drives a Prius. The thing I'm holding is, when we realize the thoughts we hold about the world, about people, about anything, those thoughts create our experience of them. A lot of times people talk about duality, and one of the things that's changing in this experience for us, densities, they're calling it, as we mature through our evolution of being human, we start to realize that things are more than just good or bad. Things are actually kind of more of that yin and yang concept, which is really starting to get into that more fourth density idea. But ultimately, things are what they are. I am a complete and total me. I've got good components, I've got bad components, and but I am me. I am a mixture of all these things. So when we hold to one of the dualities, one, we limit the beauty of the big picture, but two, if we are going to focus on the dualities and one of them, which one are we focusing on? Which one are we choosing to hold in our hearts? Because that's what we experience. And the only way to change, I'm beating a dead horse, I know, but the only way to change your reality outside of yourself is to change your feelings or your thoughts that you hold about anything. If you don't like bread, then every time you see bread, it's going to bother you. Or like me, when I walk into a Subway and I smell that weird fake bread, I'm like, what the frick is that smell? Ugh. Right? Like
Poison.
Huh? What is it?
It's poison.
Is it? Yeah, it's what it smells like. I swear to God, I used to eat Subway sandwiches. Don't get me wrong. They're probably delicious. If you can order it and go in for me so I don't have to walk into the damn shop, I'll probably eat it. But the smell of that I don't know what it is. Anyway, they're closed right now. Doesn't even matter. But yeah, it's just funny. Again, beliefs, and not everybody has it. Some people walk in there like, it's like Mama used to make. It's like, all right, gross. Like your mom obviously did not know how to cook, dude.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And I don't know why she had to be Italian, but
No, but that was good. That was good content.
The made up story. Anyway, so you guys got any thoughts on that, or am I just starting to yammer at this point?
No, not really. But I think you're right. We touched on it. You really have complete control. I love what you're saying. Two people can walk into the same restaurant, smell the same smells, or see the same sight, and have a whole different experience.
Look at what Ariel wrote. I don't know if you guys see that. Thought I was the only person who doesn't like the smell of Subway, and now I want Subway. See, again, that's how programming works. And I was just telling my girlfriend this, by the way, on a sort of an aside, but it ties in really well. When I used to be a smoker, I was a smoker for 21 years. I put in the link below the book I recommend on what I used to stop smoking. But what's funny is I would judge the commercials that try to get people to quit smoking by their effectiveness was by whether or not I wanted to smoke during the commercial. And 90%, seriously, and I am not messing with anybody, probably even more than that, 90% of anti-smoking commercials made me want to smoke. Go figure that out, right? There's a total thing about the way a lot of these programming efforts work. Oh, we're trying to get people to stop. No, you're not. That's not true at all. You guys want us to keep doing it because you're making tax money off smokers like mad. So again, there's this whole... I got off my soapbox. Sorry.
Yeah. but Dan, here's one that I find a lot of times. So now, since you used to be a smoker, like if you're in a bar somewhere trying to eat, and a smoker is nearby, wherever this is allowed, but it's still like it happens now and again. The smoke comes over to you. Does it bother you?
No. That's the funny thing. I'm like one of the weird the ones that stops. I literally will go stand next to people that are smoking and take the secondhand because I miss it so much. Like I don't want to do it to myself, but I love the smell of it. Yeah, it's horrible. Especially like a pack. I'll ask them to let me have their pack just so I can smell them because they smell delicious before you light them. And then once you light them, But anyway, I know I'm a weirdo. I always thought that was the funny thing about me. Though I'm like, no, I don't hate smokers. They're fine. They can hang out.
Well, you know what? It goes to that belief system. When you would smoke, you probably relate it to good times, fun times, happy times, nice things. So your belief about it isn't, the bad health issues, the lung cancer, etc. It's the experience.
Yeah, I got off it fortunately before it did any other than probably aging me more than it needed to. But yeah, I got off it. I mean, I smoked for a long ass time though. It wasn't like I did anything, good, and I'm sure I did some damage. But it is funny, and it's one of the cool things in the book is our bodies are very resilient, and within a very short period of time, it's amazing how much better you get. And my lungs, for sure, like it's just, it's super cool. Like you cough out a bunch of scary stuff early on, and then I don't know, after a month or two, like you start feeling like a lot more back to normal. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, we've done a lot of research on the body regenerating and the different organs can fully regenerate over time. I think it was your skin that took the longest.
I think it
was that the 7-year thing or whatever? Skin cells? No, I don't know.
It was the skin. Whatever it was that was the longest was 10 years to fully regenerate, but everything else was within that. So,
but the point is, everything regenerates.
Everything in your body can regenerate if you allow it. Obviously, the lungs aren't going to regenerate while you're continuing to smoke, but if you quit, they try. They do. So cool stuff. Yeah.
That is super cool. Let me see if anyone else said anything in here. No, wow. Your attention to that which is pleasing, loving, and caring, and self. That which courage will gestate, love experiences without love all. I feel like I read that very horribly and not easy to read. But I think all of the stuff in there is very true. Like it's like focus on good things, and that's gonna be your experience. That people think that sounds so cliche. It sounds so easy to say. And what's I've found in 100% of my coaching with anyone ever over the years has always been where their mind is at is where their experience is at. Period. 100%. No doubt whatsoever. Finding the connection sometimes is maybe a bit more challenging. Sometimes it might be a little more deep-seated, but ultimately there's something inside us that is causing the outside. The first thing I do when I see anything outside that I don't like is I immediately look inward. All right, what's going on? You're out of balance, dude. Something's not right. Like, this isn't normal. What's going on? Or if there's a pattern for sure, then I realize, dude, you're creating this pattern. Find it. What's going on inside of you? What do you believe? What are you thinking? There's a cause to this. It's you. What is it? And I find the answers. And it is evolution. It's an evolution of life and thought. It's helped me grow my life. It's helped me grow my income, grow my wealth, grow my spirituality, grow everything that I've put any interest on. It's powerful. And I wish more people understood it. It really is that simple. The hard part's realizing there's truth to the causation between what I experience and what I am doing. There's a direct causation. That's the part that I think once anyone proves that to themselves, the rest is just an experience of, I got my black belt, now how many stripes do I have on it? That's the difference. Like, once you realize I own this is my experience, boom, your black belt's in the mail. And then from there, you can take it to levels that are very, very exciting.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting as you say that too. It's trying to change somebody else is hard. It reminds me of some things that I do. I have, some I am and chat platforms. We have a group of people where we build all of our residual income and, trying to help people get a good mindset about, seeing all the opportunity. And so I'll have these groups and, I get up at 5 a.m. and I start to chat. It might be a great day out there. It's a great day to go help others change their lives. And, put a little sunshine, smiley face. And, always there's someone that says, hey, Jeffrey, take me off this distro. And like, it's like too much positivity. I mean, but the point is, it's always funny. But, the reason why I do this, for every one of those, there's 10 others that are trying to like restart the car every day, trying to jumpstart the life. And okay, if there's 10 other people chiming in, yeah, I got this opportunity and I'm gonna make all this money over here. Yeah, I found another way to use LinkedIn and now I'm finding all these other leads and this is great, guys. You got to try this. The positivity is just huge. But there's always someone in the end that says, hey, I got to tap out. And I always say, too much positivity for you. Good luck with that. Let me know if I can help. Call me if you want to get back on. It's funny, right?
It is. And I've worked in some similar businesses in the past. And really, attitude's the difference. Attitude is the difference. The people that don't make it are always the ones that can't keep the attitude straight. And that's really, it's the attitude. It's the attitude, not just the attitude of gratitude, which is fun cliche, but it's really attitude of success. And if you fail or stray, or you will not get there. I mean, it's a very sure path. It's a very definite direction. It works. That's all there is to it. You guys have seen it. I've seen countless programs like yours. Like it's a working program. It's perfect. And so, yeah, a lot of people, I don't think, get that. It's kind of like politics. They see it from an angle and they can't get that angle out of their heads, and that's what their focus is, and that's what they create. That's their experience. It's kind of
well, and it goes back to your, what you talked about in the beginning. It's their belief. Their belief is that this, you can't manifest it. This positivity doesn't work. This is just, voodoo or whatever. And so they want to be removed from it. Whereas the other 10 people, they know it works because they've seen it work and their belief system is different. And if they haven't personally experienced it, specifically the people in the chat Jeffrey's talking about, they've seen us experience it. And so they know it works and they want to follow the belief system and the pattern to get to the success. And the other people, well, it didn't work in 2 days, so I don't believe it, Yeah.
Now, what's funny is you'll see, too, on your kind of topic, you'll see people that will mimic, this is like the people in the middle, I guess, but you'll see the people that mimic the way you act, but aren't necessarily mimicking the internal structure, right? It's not how we're outwardly being. It's really more that internal monologue that we spend 90% of our day on, not that 10% that we actually show to the world. And that's probably some of the people you guys see that aren't quite, they're like, I'm doing everything you're doing and not succeeding. And it's like, well, see right there, I know you're not. Yeah, I can see you act a certain way, but you just stated your fear. You just stated your belief. So that, yeah, it's the thing that a lot of people, If you think you're doing everything right, but somehow still failing, it's because you believe you're still failing that you're failing. That's why. You could do everything right. Doesn't matter. You believe you're going to fail. That's what you're going to do.
Yep. And the key that, I mean, as you just said, that just kind of woke up a piece that, I've tried to teach people on is you're right. You're doing all the outward things, but, for instance, if you come from a point where I want to help others, I try to, think about this every day when I get up, who can I help today? Somebody else may be doing the same external things, but inside they're saying, I need to help myself. This is all about me. Where's my money? Where's my opportunity? That's the difference. You're right. That's internal. They may be making the same amount of calls. They may be going out and working the same things. They have the same product offering. They have the same, circles that they travel in, but it's all about me, instead of how can I help you?
Right. I will say too, on your topic, because again, focus drives experience. So I've seen and known and even been in the case where I chased money solely. It was all about the money. It was all about how can I make more money. And I made good money, but I was miserable. I hated my job. I hated my life. I hated everything, right? So then it got to more of a point like you were saying, how can I help people? And so I got some cool jobs helping people, but not really making money. And then it was like, all right, how can I do both? Bam, now you've opened the doorway. Now you're actually talking what God or source or whatever wants, right? Like, yeah, help. And yes, you should be rewarded. This is a world where there is kind of a compensation concept. Why shouldn't you be? And it's that belief that so many of us hold on. And it's just kind of funny how it plays out. Good. Yeah. Hey, you kind of brought up something that tied in. It was like right at the start of this little segment we just finished. So I doubt anyone maybe remembers, but kind of talked about changing others. I want to say this is probably the last big thing that really is a tough question that I get oftentimes from people. And I kind of wanted to speak to, and this might upset some people. So I do apologize if it upsets you, but I feel this is very important, and I want to share one of the most important things that I have learned spending a lot of time making videos on this channel. You cannot force another. Can't force somebody to do something. You can't force them to be something. You can't make them become something. It's their life. That's not love, by the way. When you try to force, I'm doing it because I love you. No, you're not. You're scared. You're fearful. You're forcing. It's not okay. I should have looked first. You cannot force another. You can lead a horse to water. You cannot make them drink. You can't. Law of attraction is a very powerful thing. And you can definitely influence people, and you don't do it directly. I don't try to influence somebody. They will just naturally be influenced as the need to fulfill whatever desire that you've got. Say you want to get promoted, then your boss is going to naturally feel probably an inclination to promote you. If not, maybe you should seek another job. If that one's not necessarily working and you can't seem to make it work, kind of like what I was experiencing with my channel. I love this channel. I love the topics. I love talking about manifesting. I love talking about spirituality. It's definitely not very popular, seems. I did videos like 8 days ago. I did something crazy on my other channel. And that panned out in ways that I didn't even realize. I've grown that channel over 200% in subscribers. I have gotten views that are even more than I typically get on RadioStyle. So the universe was basically saying, dude, you had a belief that something had to happen a certain way. You're not wrong. Let's tweak it a little. Let's do it in this direction and watch what happens. So I feel like a lot of the times we try to force what we want on the thing that we're currently focused on. In my case, I wanted to do something in YouTube. I wanted to reach a lot of people and try to affect a lot of people and make a difference in a lot of people's lives. That was kind of what led me to it, kind of like you guys were talking about. And I kept trying to do all these different things without necessarily doing videos on topics that I don't want to try to sell out. So I kept trying to do it from all these different angles and just really never got the traction. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And that was the big realization I came to. It's perfectly okay for this to be the way it is. And then I asked myself, well, then what works? What's a good path for me? What's a good evolution for me? I want to be able to help. I love this YouTube platform. This is kind of a cool way to do it. You can definitely make money doing this. That's cool. That's a win-win. I've already got an awesome job I love, and I spend all day doing that, and it's great. It's like life's cool. How can I enhance? And this idea came to me. I could talk about something that's very controversial, and I didn't want to until I finally realized now's the time. So I tried it, and it worked. I want people to realize that just because someone's not behaving a particular way doesn't mean that they're the only avenue. And trying to waste energy on trying to change someone or make someone do something or make someone feel a certain way actually has karmic problems back to you, the sender. Now, it can work sometimes, but most of the time it reflects back on you. And depending on what you're doing, you can actually start to cause all sorts of issues within your own life. People are free to experience this reality as they choose. We interact with each other. We are all from the same source. We are all part of the same being. We are all one, but we are all not each other. We're separate sources experiencing individuality and sharing that with one another. It's a really awesome playground where all of us get to play together and have our own little dramas and have our own little problems and fling sand and whatever the hell. But it's a playground. And these are our friends that we're playing with. They're not ours to force. They're not us pushed out like I sometimes hear people say. We project, we see in others what we like and dislike about ourselves, but they themselves are not me. I am not you, you are not me. We are one, and we are united in ways that many of us don't realize. But to assume that another individual should do my wishes because they are me and I want this, so therefore, no. And that's not really how this plays out, and that's not the lesson in this for all of us. That's one of the things that, yeah, I lost 5 people right there.
They just went to get more coffee, I think.
No, they literally bailed. They are no longer concurrent viewers. Again, all I've ever wanted to do was give the best advice I could. And some people, many really appreciate, most appreciate it for sure. Some, the vocal ones too, don't. And they want you to say what they want you to say. And that's one thing that I've never wanted to do. That's not a thing that I've wanted to play. It's not a game. I could have done all sorts of meditation video. Oh, Dan, we love your voice. Yeah, I don't want you guys to rely on me to do your manifesting. I want you to find this yourself. I don't want to be your crutch. I shouldn't be. I've always told people as a teacher, I am a good teacher the second you don't need me anymore. Then you're good. That's a good teacher. Someone that requires to be there forever, you're creating a dependency. That's a different thing. And there are friendships and you can partner up. Don't get me wrong. I see value in that, but ultimately that's not generally how it plays out. So there you go. Thank you, D Wonder. It's very nice of you. 41 years, never ever sick. Wow. Those are words I am cautious to ever use. Never say never, they say. That's funny. That's awesome.
And I was going to say that timing is everything. And I think it's so important, for you personally and professionally, that you're following your dream and your path. And as you said, you're not abandoning, this channel. You're just focusing on the other one. That doesn't mean that later you might come back and focus back on this one. There's a lot of famous people, like Wayne Dyer came out with S. I can't remember if it was in the late 60s or early 70s. People thought the guy was a nut job, and look, and it's because of the timing. People weren't ready for that, right? And, he's one of, I love, his messages. I mean, God rest his soul. But again, there's some things about him, relationship things that he didn't have nailed down. So no one guru has it all. And I think that's so important.
Well,
right?
The other thing is too, is we're all learning as we go, right? And that's one thing with YouTube that I don't know if people that haven't really gotten a long ways into it, and you guys are getting your feet very wet, but it's a process, and getting used to dealing with people and doing videos on a regular basis and trying to make them good and topics that are relevant and blah, blah, blah. There's a lot that really goes into it. And 100% to your point, just because I'm shifting to another location where I think my abilities will be better served to the larger purpose. I still care very much about this channel. I've put my heart and soul into this channel for a lot of years, and it's not going anywhere. And I do promote back to this channel, and it's actually easier promoting from the other channel to this channel than this channel to that channel. It actually tends to piss off a lot of people when they find out that I'm talking about some of the stuff I am. And, you know, it is what it is. I don't particularly care, to be honest. That's the problem, I think. But I again, want to do what makes the most sense. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, you know, you do care, and that's why you've got the other channel. And, you know, you're following your passion and your heart. And I think you didn't want to disappoint any of your, you know,
I felt trapped, like being in a bad relationship.
Yeah. Each one of them is so important. Each one of your subscribers, especially the 43 that are here. See, they went to get coffee. They came back. You know, each one, somebody described it as like a snowflake. They're so important to you. So, you know, the ego doesn't want to hurt their feelings, but the heart needs to do what the heart needs to do. And your timing right now in your heart is over in your other channel. But that doesn't mean that down the road you might all of a sudden have a change of heart and start a third channel, or say, you know what?
Probably true, yeah.
Now my focus is back on Dan, you know, on this, you know, Dan RadioStyle channel. It's all a matter of timing and what's going on with your own, you know, personal, what's important to you, most important to you. You know, I know it's all important, but most important. And we should never apologize for that.
No, it was just, yeah, it was such a process for me. It was hard for me to come to this place. Like, I don't know if people realize that too. Literally sleepless nights. Like, it's stupid. It should not have affected me that way. But I don't think people realize that I take this a lot more serious. Maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe it comes through. But I take my messages very serious. Like, I try really hard to give good advice, sound advice, help people see ways forward. And I hope they do, and I hope they're serious. One of the cool things, though, like we've said, I've got over 800 videos on the channel. It's not like I guarantee there's plenty of videos you haven't watched that I've done. So yeah, I've got plenty of material. But yeah, I'll keep doing stuff. We'll keep working towards it. I was actually thinking maybe once a month, maybe we get together if you guys want. We could have a fun little panel, do a live together for old time's sake, and reminisce about how huge you guys are and how you're carrying the torch, and, you know, maybe I could be a guest on your show one of these days. Who knows? Anytime.
We're getting there. You know, we really just started putting our time and energy into it over Thanksgiving of 2019. And, you know, it is a passion for us, like your channel, your other channel right now is. And, you know, we love the messages that we're sharing on our channel, and we love where it lives, and we're so grateful. You know, we did hit 1,000 subscribers, and we're grateful for each and every one of them. But we're doing it because we love to do it, and you know, do what you love, and people will come.
Yeah, it's about getting the message out. It's a funny thing. I didn't even know anything about YouTube, and even you could make money on YouTube. It was, you know, we're writing this book, and we thought we'd start putting some of the topics out and get some discussion going back and forth, and get some, you know, get other eyes on this thing before we publish the book. And you know, it's been a lot of fun, to your point. I mean, it's what it's all about.
Exactly. I mean, there aren't a lot of people out there who are, you know, our favorite topic. Everything's about positivity, but you know, it's love is really at the forefront. We're married 29 years. We have something incredibly magical. Not only do we have a great friendship, but 29 years as incredible lovers is really something, you know, to share with the world, because that's really what everybody wants in a relationship. And you know, we don't want to be married to you know, someone that's like a brother or like a sister. We want our best friend and our lover. And after 29 years, there's so much magic. Our goal is to share all of that along with all of the good life as well. So, you know, our feeling is, and it should be this way with all of YouTube, it's not about the money. We really, you know, money is just a lovely byproduct that lets you do fun stuff. But in sharing your YouTube messages, Dan, and you to us have been such a joy for us every Saturday morning. We talked about this offline is, Jeffrey and I would get our coffee and we'd put you on and we'd have our own discussions about what you're discussing. And we'll definitely miss you on Saturdays, but I know that we'll be in touch regardless. And
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I'm hoping I get to get into lives on the other one. It's just, it's a fun venue. It's harder. I like that about it too. Cause, one, it's a little more forgiving. You can kind of ramble a little bit more, not as much, but, still it just, you can screw up. You can say things you shouldn't. But yeah, that was part of why I wanted to sort of open up like this is, and I love my audience a lot. And this was, this was hard for me to because I've only got so much room. I know a lot of people are like, well, you quit your job and just do videos. But it's like, and move out and not have I got a great life, man. I wouldn't dare want to give up something I really, really enjoy, which is my job. I enjoy this also, but this is not the end all be all. And it's not more important by any means. It's just fun. And it's something I enjoy doing. We'll see how it plays out. I don't expect to go anywhere. And I certainly have thoughts frequently throughout the week where I'm like, that would make a really good video for Dan RadioStyle. And I'll sit down and record it. It's not going to be the same where I release every day at the same time. Like I'll just release it when I've got one out there. And hopefully that, people appreciate when it's there. And we'll see how it plays out. But you guys, I've enjoyed meeting you guys. It's been a lot of fun. So we'll have to do something, continue on.
Yeah, same here. A lot of fun.
Yeah, we really enjoyed this, and thank you for sharing your airtime with us and your time with us. And that's the biggest gift anybody can give. So thank you.
Appreciate you guys being with us. Well, I think we're at that time. Let's go ahead and consider cutting everyone loose. But thank you, everybody. You guys have been the best. We'll chit chat real quick after, guys. But, thanks, everyone. I love you guys. Peace. Continue to do videos, and we'll see what happens. Who knows? A lot of things can change. It's a neat world we're heading into. Let's make it better, all of us.